Hey y'all, welcome to Girl Meets Drama. My name's Rama, your host or whatever. Couple warnings. Yes, that is my fridge you hear in the background, apparently. It's the only room in the house I can make videos in, so I apologize. I will charge my mics, I will learn to use them, and we'll have a crisper sound, hopefully. But we're here today. Also, the cold is past, but I have like remnants of it, like a watery eye here. And so I do apologize if that eye looks weird. I was gonna just like put on my blue light glasses, but you can see the ring light in them. How annoying, because it would have been super cute. But you know what? It's fine. We're here to talk about the boyfriend, not my face looking a little rough today. Anywho, episode 7. So we pick up. Last we saw was Isaiah and William, and Isaiah and his feelings, because William seems to be feeling unsure again. I'm looking at my notes. I put in here I put in Huwei is always cheesing when Bomi makes contact. Yeah, it's like, I don't know how he's like, oh, I don't know if I like him. I'm not sure. Because it's like, bro, the loving look you give that man at all times, please. Anywho, okay, so then Isaiah is feeling defeated. It seems pretty clear that he's feeling defeated. Inoya talks to Jobu about being rejected by Huwei. And then Isaiah and William talk about William's insecurities, and William basically, again, like I mentioned before, like reassures him that like it's not you, it's like my insecurities and where they take me in thought. And so Isaiah just kind of tells him like he's there for him, and like he doesn't want him to keep it to himself. He wants him to come to him with it so that they can figure it out together, and he can like hold that space with him. But he says like that's what it means to be partners, and I love it because literally, but they're so cute. If I remember correctly, they're both like crying in that scene, and they're like hugging and just embraced, and like it's just so cute and adorable, and I love it. Inoya picks Huwei to run the coffee truck with him because he's up, and it's to tell Huwei that he's leaving for a couple weeks. And we have a confession of him just talking about how Huwei didn't make the shift weird, and that he was like still his normal self and nice. And honestly, y'all, it's becoming a problem for me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, wait, stop it. You can't be like this with everybody. Calm down. Bomi basically lets on to Huwei that he likes him, and Huwei is just like saying he's not sure that he likes Bomi. Like he basically kind of says like he doesn't think he does. I don't know why he's saying that, because it's kind of clear, but everyone's fighting to work on the truck, but basically William wins by saying how he wants to show a person that he's like locked in. Like he's like, he wants to share a very important feeling with a person. And Jobu was kind of like the one that ended up like head to head with him of like, but I want to do it. And then he hears that and he's like, okay, never mind, I'm good. Because he was saying like, oh, one last shot. And then when William said that made it clear that there was no one last shot. He chooses Isaiah, they have fun serving, and then basically he wants to take him to a lake that a customer mentions on one of their other shifts to see it. It's foggy, but they both see it and they really like it, and it's very cute. This is also where they decide to officially be together, and then they go back to the house and they tell everyone, and then it's like super cute because it's at night and they don't want to leave each other. So cute. All right, and now we have a new person, it appears, and we see Taeheon at the end of this episode. Taeheon from season 1. All right, we're in episode 8. Huwei is up for the truck. He chooses Bomi, and this is the moment I was talking about with the beard thing, where he's like, oh yeah, how long do you plan on growing that? And Bomi's like, oh, a little bit more. And he was like, you shouldn't. He was like, oh, you don't like it? Like, okay. All right, and so now we have new people entering the home, right? We all saw Taeheon, but that is not who appears. Who appears is Tomoaki. Tomoaki comes in talking about how he's super pessimistic in life, and that's his strength and his weakness, and his hope is to work on being more optimistic while he's there. And so that's who we have. And then we have Taeheon, who felt like he had unfinished business. They are now all writing letters again. You're writing letters to one person. Isaiah gets one from William, of course. William gets one from Isaiah. Huwei and Bomi write each other, and Huwei writes that he hopes to express his feelings to Bomi. Kazuyuki got none. Ryu got none. Jobu got two. One from Kazuyuki and one from Tomoaki. And Tomoaki got one from Taeheon, and Taeheon got two. One from Jobu and one from Ryu. No one really has like major reactions to these letters, which is so interesting to me. But anywho, Taeheon is up for the truck, and he chooses Huwei. Everybody has to like say who's interested in going with him, and then he picks someone, so he picks Huwei. Isaiah starts asking William about the future. Like he's like, oh, like where do you see us in 10 years? And then basically William is kind of like, you know, I don't really know. I'm more worried about the now. Like what it looks like for us when we leave here. Like will things be the same? Isaiah is obviously not super content with that answer. And listening to the host talk, I can see how like we all have different perspectives. There was one host who thought like I did, which was like, oh, like, because all the other hosts were like, oh, like they're in the honeymoon phase. Can't he just enjoy the honeymoon phase? Like, why is he talking about 10 years from now? Ooh, doo, doo. And so the one host that I say is on the same page as me pointed out how he's not necessarily asking for like a bullet point day by day plan of year 10. He's asking in a way of wanting those like reassuring sweet answers, right? Like, oh, I see us doing this or being that, you know, like the little tidbits or something like really simple, sweet, cute. We have another pick a person for a date. So everyone has to pick a person. If you picked each other, you go on a date, and it's Huwei and Bomi and Isaiah and William who win the dates, of course. Huwei talks to Bomi about regretting what he said the last time about not liking him, because he feels like that's not the case anymore, and that pretty quickly after he said it, he felt that. He's still unsure, but unsure in the direction of liking him. I don't know what's wrong with this man, y'all. I don't know. Ay. They talk about how nice living together is, and they're like on a yacht or boat or something, and they're like putting their hands up to hold each other's ears because it's so cold. They do the Titanic pose. Like, it's all very cute. Obsessionada. And again, the way Huwei smiles at Bomi is unmatched. I don't know how he doesn't realize that he likes this person. Like, I just simply do not. So Bomi ends up sick after that, of course. So everyone's like, oh, where's Bomi? Where's Bomi? And it's like, oh, he's in his room. And then we see, and shout out editing. Although, honestly, I want to see the, like, footage just in full. Like, I feel like there's so much that's left out. But we see Huwei going to work out, and he, like, looks all lost walking in, and then he, like, lifts a weight and puts it down, and then, like, walks back out. And me and the host are like, what's going on? Why you look so lost? What's going on? And then he goes to the kitchen and he starts making something, trying to be like slick by himself. They all start asking him questions. He's getting all shy, and he's like, oh, I'm making a caramel custard. And they're like, caramel custard? Okay. And they like watch him make this freaking caramel custard, and they walk away, and he puts it in 2 little cups to like put in the oven or whatever the heck you do with caramel custard. I can't remember. And then he puts it on a little tray and he brings it to Bomi's room. Oh my God, it's so cute. So he brings it in and they're talking. And at one point he's like, oh, are you spacing out? Because Bomi was just like kind of looking like at him but past him, if that makes sense. And Bomi's like, oh, it's because I'm blind. And he like turns to grab his glasses, and Huwei's like, oh, really? Like how blind are you? Like how bad is it? And he like, Bomi leans up. It's so freaking cute. So this is Bomi. He's sitting where I'm sitting. Huwei is sitting in a chair. Like, so this is the bed and there's a chair. So like Bomi's facing this way, Huwei's facing this way. And he literally like scoots over and leans like this close to Huwei's face. And he's like, this is how close I have to be. And oh, you just see Huwei go while he's in his face. It's so freaking cute. And then they go to confessional and he's like, I like him. Is that what liking is? Like when he got really close to my face, like I really like him. It's so freaking cute. I can't. I simply cannot. We're in episode 9. Jobu is up for the truck and he chooses Taeheon. It goes terribly, y'all. It goes to shit. I feel like they were both to blame though, like fully both to blame, a perfect 50-50. Taeyoon, for whatever reason, is very standoffish, very just like, okay, and like, so talk to me then. I mean, ask me questions. And you're like, dog, relax. And then you have poor Jobu, who, as we've seen with William, like, you know, he just like awkwardly laughs. It's really hard for him to get into serious moments. And so I think he sensed the standoffishness and then just did not know how to act. And so, like, they're eating in silence. He's like, yeah, I really wanted to come out with you. And then Taeyoon's like, okay. And he's like, yeah, because you're not very talkative at the house. And he's like, okay, maybe you should ask me questions. And I was like, Taeyoon, like, relájate un poco. Relax a little bit, dog. Relax. It's okay. But anyways, yeah, it goes really bad. And Jobu's basically like, fuck that. That man don't like me. I gotta move on. Oh, my gosh. It's so funny. So anywho, Isaiah and William. Now we have Isaiah feeling a little bit insecure or a little bit like, hey, you're still holding back. I'm not sure what more I could do. And William is basically like, I think I need intimacy to feel like the circle's complete, I guess you could say. He's basically saying like he needs to be close to him physically to feel like everything is aligned, I guess. And based on something Isaiah says later on, it sounds like they may have been intimate before and it didn't feel like special to either of them, if that makes sense, like significant. I don't know how to explain it. We'll get to that later. But at first I was like, oh, ew. Not like, well, you have to have sex with me if you want me to, like, you know what I'm saying? But afterwards I understood that it was more of like a just making sure that part aligns because it did not align before. Bomi's up. He chooses Huwei. It goes well, as always. Huwei wants to go snowboarding, but Bomi is like, well, I'll go skiing. And so they go, and Bomi busts his behind so hard, he was skiing down that mountain way too fast. But Huwei was so cute and like caring, because like, so Bomi gets on the skis, and he does kind of like there's a part of the mountain that's a little bit straighter, and then it goes slope. And so he does a little straight part, and he stops, and then he's like, oh, you go ahead. And Huwei's like, no, you go. Like, I'll go behind you. And it was so cute, because he was just like leaned down, like waiting for him to go safely. And then when he freaking topples over and rolls around, he like goes down, and he's like, are you okay? And they just sit there, and it's very, very cute. And he takes this little picture, and it's just, okay, it's the little things where I'm just like, wait, how do you not know that you like this man? Like, it's so crazy to me. It makes no sense, because like, he's always looking at him with in love eyes. You guys know what that looks like when you watch movies and someone's just like lovingly staring at someone. He is constantly looking at Bomi like that. Not only that, anytime Bomi's taking a picture, he's trying to get in on it, trying to get behind it. You know what I mean? And so they're like sitting, and he literally like takes his phone out and he leans, and he's like trying to take pictures with them together. Like, that's what you do when you like somebody. Like, come on. Anywho, yeah, so it's just so cute. He's like taking the pictures. Like, also, I love how comfortable they seem with each other. I'm starting to realize that a slow burn is just the way to go. Does it piss me off? Yes. But I feel like it's one of the only ways, if not the only way, to like make a true connection that could last long. Because the same thing with like Dae and Shun, they're only on year 2, but that, you know, it started off as like Shun being like, actually, I don't like you. Oop, turns out I do now, you know? And it's so funny to me because, again, it's that like almost black and white thinking where you're like, well, you didn't like me, you don't like me now. Like, that's how I would feel, right? Like, I would be like, okay, moving on, whatever. But then you have people like Dae and Bomi who are like, they're like holding on, and not in a bad way. It's just like, I'm gonna give this person the opportunity to sort their feelings. I can be patient in that for a bit, and they get their mans, because like, hello, that's how you do it. But anywho, yeah, it's just so, I love seeing them. I just love seeing them. Anywho, Isaiah and William basically go to the group, and they're like, we hope you'll allow us to spend the night together. And so they are off to spend the night together by themselves. And then Kazuyuki's up for the truck. He picks Jobu, and they are just talking about everything going on. Kazuyuki more about memories of his time with his ex, and Jobu about how it went with Taeyoon, and you know, like the whole like, I'm not giving that another shot. And Kazuyuki's kind of like, maybe you should. He's like, nah, that shit is dead and gone. Then we're back at the house. All of the boys decide to put on like plaid and like take pictures and fool around. And Tomoaki's on the couch feeling left out. At one point, they're like, hey, are you okay? And he's just like, I'm fine. It's like, it's fine, whatever. And he leaves, and then he comes back, and it's so cute because he's talking about how, like, in real life, normally he would just, like, leave a situation like that, and that's it. It'd be done. And he was like, but living in this house, he can't really do that. So it's like, he's doing the things he would normally do, right? He gets up off the couch. He's like, I'm leaving. He goes to his room. But then he realizes, I have to come out eventually. I have to continue interacting with these people. So, like, what's up? So then he'll come out and be like, yeah, I realize, like, oh, I have to deal with it, blah, blah, blah. Like, so it's kind of cute because he really is doing what he came to do. Huwei tells Bomi he's leaving for his ceremony and also tells him that he thinks he likes him. He thinks he likes him. We're getting there, you guys, okay? First it was, I regret telling you that I don't like you. Then it was like, I think maybe I could like you. Like, what are we doing, Huwei? Stop wasting our time. Playing in our faces. And then episode 9 ends with Isaiah and William getting sexy. Yeah, they go on the date. They're like eating in a cabin, and then they're sitting in front of a fire, and then they're like caressing each other's faces for like 4 minutes, and that doesn't sound long, but it's very long when you're watching. And then they just start making out, and it's super, super cute. And then they're like making out in bed, and it's super, super cute. We just love it. We love it, and we know what's up. We know what's up. Okay. Going into episode 10, this is what I was talking about with the sex thing. Where at first I was like, ew, not like you need sex to like solidify the relationship. No. What it was, Isaiah says how when they slept together once before, William claimed to have trouble sleeping. Like, it was not a good night of rest. And so that this morning, present day, when he asked him how his night was, and he says it really, or no, he doesn't, sorry. He says how last night they both drifted off, like, one after the other, like, right to sleep, and that made him really happy because it made it clear that, like, things were different and things were better. And then William says something very similar in saying that the first time around it was very just like, you know, like no feelings attached, like just having fun type of thing. And how this time around he felt relief. Hiroya is back. Remember, he was gone. And so he meets Tomoaki and Taeheon, and he had said when he left, like, he was going to continue trying to pursue Huwei. But when he sees Taeheon, who's Huwei? Who is that? Who is that? We don't know her. That's what Hiroya said. We don't know her. Kazuyuki asks to go off for some alone time. So he like leaves to write some more in his journal. He's been writing down the memories as he remembers them in his journal. It's actually a very cute like testament of how sometimes we can forget the little things, or we get lost in the monotony of life and forget to like appreciate those things for what they are. And he like got the opportunity to do that while being here. He talks about things as simple as like, he doesn't like yogurt, but his partner liked yogurt. And so he would always get his partner yogurt when he saw it on sale at the store. And so with the boys in the house, anytime he would go grocery shopping, he was always grabbing yogurt because there were boys in the house who ate yogurt. And it reminded him of how he would like lovingly think of his partner and get him yogurt. Like little things like that, where it brought back the beauty in the monotony, or like the love in the monotony, you know? Ryu's up and he picks Jobu, and they are essentially talking about him coming out. And so he's saying how his mom passed, I think, when he was in kindergarten, and so he only has his dad. His dad learned, you know, all the household things and things to like raise his son. And so he fears that if he tells his dad, that will disappoint his dad, obviously. Like, he won't rise up or like be what he expected of him. And also that if he was to lose his dad because of it, like if dad didn't accept that and cut him off, then he'll have no family because his mom is gone. So he was saying how sometimes when it's two parents and it's like, oh, my dad didn't, but my mom accepted me, you know? So yeah, that's hard. So he's clearly dealing with that. And then we have Huwei. Huwei is at dinner with two of his girlfriends and saying like, oh, I think I like this guy, da-da-da, shows him whatever. And they're like, go for it. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, something told me, da-da-da-da. And then his friend makes like a judo metaphor. She says like, when you hesitate, you always get thrown. I guess in reference to like, if you hesitate in judo, he'll get like thrown. I think I might have referred to it as jujitsu or something in the last video. It's judo. He does judo. I apologize. Basically, they're both like, be yourself. Tell him you like him. Like, go for it. And he's like, you're right. I'm gonna go for it. period. We love those friends. We love those friends. William's up for the truck. Who else would he pick other than Isaiah? Duh. And yeah, they just talk about how things are positively moving forward. Like, they feel like they're going in a good direction. Now we have Taeheon being a weirdo. Okay. He sits behind Jobu. Jobu's like on one of those little beanbag chair things, and Taeheon literally comes up, sits behind him, like legs wrapped around him to the... Come on now, Taeheon. So yeah, Jobu's encouraged again. He's like, okay, never mind, got it. Message loud and clear. I'm here. Bomi talks about having dreams of Huwei, and Huwei is back, and yeah, he made the trip for Bomi. He was like, oh, how long are you gone? He was like, 2 days. He's like, oh, yeah, it seemed kind of short. And he was like, yeah, I made it short. For me? And he's like, yeah. For me? I love it. Isaiah takes William for a walk and tells him that he thinks that they should take the relationship out of the green room. They should leave together. And they do. They tell the boys, and they go. Episode 11 is Hidoya's turn to coffee truck, I'm pretty sure. And who does he choose? Taeheon. Duh. He makes his interest known to Taeheon. Huwei is talking to Bomi, and Bomi's asking him about his trip. He says how he went to see his mom, and Bomi's like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I came out to my mom. And Bomi was like, wait, what? Because I think in the other episode I mentioned how they talk, and he says how, like, he said to his mom, like, stop, no, I don't even like women. But that this time he, like, made it clear, and that she mentioned, like, oh, can you fix it? And he was so sweet and understanding, where he was like, that really hurt me. But he was like, but I also understood what this was like for her. He's like, I've had all this time to come to terms with my sexuality, and I felt bad because I felt like I just, like, threw it on her, and she's expected to, like, turn around and be supportive. And if that is not emotional maturity, I don't know what the fuck is, because anyone else would be like, why would she tell you that? What a bitch. Respectfully, mom, respectfully. But, you know, like, that would be the automatic reaction, because it's true. It seems like when, then again, I am not legitimate to cross, so who am I to talk? But in theory, in my thoughts, it's true, because it's like, you spend all your life coming to terms with your sexuality, and then you expect, or some expect, a parent to, like, receive that information, like, right there in that moment, and in 0.5 seconds be like, I love you no matter what. I would. I am in no way saying I would be a parent that wouldn't. I would be like, and what about a girl or boy or whoever you choose to be? But yeah, I could understand where he was coming from, where he was like, it kind of just gets thrown at them. And yeah, Bomi starts crying, because he says how, like, she basically ends up saying, like, that she loves him no matter what, or, like, she accepts him for whoever he is. And so Bomi is, like, boohoo crying. It is so stinking cute. Hidoya and Taeheon are talking about making, like, a sweater design for the group, or some sort of, like, merch design for the group. Very cute, very cute. The group goes bowling. We're seeing Tomoaki so much more comfortable with the group now. It's so cute. He's so much more positive and bubbly and just fun. Kazuyuki ends up winning bowling, and I think he can, like, use it for something. I don't know. Kazuyuki also ends up telling them that he has chosen to attempt to return to his 15-year-long relationship, and so he's decided to leave. Honorable mention, he leaves the win or whatever to Hidoya. So I guess they were like, they agreed to, like, whoever wins gets to use it for, like, a request in the house. I don't know. Tomoaki's turn is up for the truck. He picks Hidoya. And he talks about his parents not knowing about his sexuality, and him wanting them to know, and wanting them to know that he still is a normal person and will live a normal life. Jobu's mom comes to see him, very cute, just to see how he's doing. They clearly catch up on, like, what's going on there. She brings all this food for everyone to eat. Very sweet, beautiful, sweet mom. We find out that his mom, super loving, super accepting, like, he never even really had to come out to her, he says. They are all eating together the food that his mom made, and they are talking about coming out. Hidoya mentions how the way his family found out was there was an art thing he did for college that was put in a newspaper, and his family saw that newspaper. His mom called, like, a family meeting, and everyone offered him words of support and encouragement, which is gorgeous, beautiful, love that. Ryu feels like he has a lot of expectations set on him by his dad, and again, that fear of like losing the only family he has. Tomoaki really relates to that. He talks a lot about, you know, everything his parents did for him when they were little, taking care of him, holding his hand when he was sick, celebrating his accomplishments, and he feels like he would be a really big letdown if he like told them about his sexuality. Taehyun, very wonderful advice that I think everyone needs to hear, which is that like, yes, they're their parents and they gave you life, but you don't owe them anything. So like, you are free to be yourself, and it's okay to be like a little selfish in that. This ends with a 2-day coffee truck trip, and they do it the date style. Everyone picks someone, and the people who picked each other will go. Huwei and Bomi, of course, and Jobu and Taeheon, bro. When they said Jobu, they said Taeheon and Jobu. Oh my gosh, me and Jobu were like, what? But yeah. Love that, love that, love that, love that, love that. We go to episode 12. Truck, they made tons of money. They made like $24,000. Taehyun was being recognized. Back at the house, Hidoya and Tomoaki have a very intense conversation. Hidoya, okay, so again, English dub for the L, the biggest L, because I just know this was not exactly what that conversation was. So I'm going to tell you what I'm pretty sure that conversation was. It was Hidoya being like, I can't stand flamboyant gays. Him saying like to Tomoaki, like, you're friends with people like that, right? Because I guess he mentions hanging out in an area where people like that often hang. I don't know. And Tomoaki's like, I don't really know what you mean by that. And it's like, oh, people who like go get drunk and go to barbecues and to this and to that. And the things he references is kind of like, do you have to be gay to do that? Like, anybody does that. And he's like, no, true. And so obviously that starts a really tense like situation. It's not like a full out yelling argument. It's just like they're both really tense, and Tomoaki kind of shuts down and stops listening. And Hidoya is in tears trying to like explain how like he didn't mean to like offend him. He was just like expressing himself. And yeah, so that's very, very hard, very hard. Taehyun talks about seeing good characteristics in Jobu, seeing how he reacted to his friends leaving, and how caring he is for his friends, how caring he could be for him. It's clear to me that Taehyun is looking for a life partner. So it's less about like, ooh, is the excitement and the fun and the butterflies? And he's just like, who fits into my life and has all of like the qualities that I want in a person. Huwei and Bomi on their little dates throughout these 2 days. They just kind of talk about what a relationship would look like to them, and Huwei says how like it's less about the big things to him and more about like the day-to-day, and like he would rather like be living together than like, oh, let's do this one big special thing. And then Huwei is like, let me go to the bathroom real quick, and he leaves and he comes back with 2 little mugs that he painted. He painted it while he was in Tokyo, thinking of Bomi, and he remembered Bomi saying like, oh, should we get matching mugs when they went that one time? And so he made them matching mugs. So we have Jobu and Taehyun, they're back in their room, and it has like a little couch lounging area, and they're sitting there, and Jobu's like, can I put my head on your lap? And he puts it on his lap, and then Taehyun's like, wait, where did you put it? I want to do that. I want to put my head there. And then he puts his head there, and then Jobu is like rubbing his hair, and like what? 0 to 100 real quick, what happened? Anyways, yeah, so that's them. They're very, very cute. They all go to bed in separate beds, and then we see Huwei massaging Bomi in the morning, like on top of him, right? Like Bomi's laying down, he's on top of him, and you're like, whoa, what's going on? And then we see Jobu wake up and like jump into Taehyun's bed. What's happening? We love it. We have Ryu and Hiroya back at the house talking about types and like, oh, Ryu likes muscles and like baseball players. Perfect, which I agree. Amen. Baseball players, booties and buddies. Yes. Bomi tells Huwei he's leaving for a week, and this is like my number 1 moment of the season, hands down, 1000%. The way that Huwei gets all sad and puppy dog looking and like bear hugs him into the couch. It's so cute. Sir, again, how are you not sure? Then we have the cute ass little, he's sitting between his legs, head up, looking up at Bomi, and they look like they're about to kiss. And then they freaking don't. We don't see a single kiss of these bitches. Tomoaki is telling Jobu about what happened with Hiroya, and he's kind of like, I just don't even want to talk to him anymore. Jobu is like, he's just not like that. Like, I know him. He did not mean anything by it. He did not mean that by it. You should talk to him, give him a chance to explain. Like, you know, clear the air between you two. I don't think you should leave it like this. And Hiroya is talking to everyone else about the same thing and saying like, I want to keep talking, I want to fix it, but I feel like he's iced me out and I don't really know what to do. And they're like, yeah, just apologize and ask him like, hey, I want to understand, yada yada. Very cute, very mindful, very demure. All right, and so then Hiroya decides to use his Kazu bowling win that was passed to him from Kazu to hang out with Taehyun. It's very cute. It goes well. They have fun. Huwei, Jobu, and Tomoaki decide to work the truck all together. And so they're over there doing that, having fun. Oh, I forgot to mention, Hiroya tells Taehyun that he's like interested and all of that, but it seems Taehyun seems pretty like stuck between him and Jobu, but almost like more interested in Jobu. Like he seems to be a lot more mindful and thoughtful and like in thought about Jobu, if that makes sense. Huwei, while at the truck, lets the other two know that he has to go back to Thailand unexpectedly. Turns out his grandma passed away, so he's there doing that. Jobu and Jobu and Tomoaki talk, and he's talking about how he would be sad if it went well with Hiroya and Taehyun. He does you can see him get nervous because everyone's back at the house eating, and Taehyun burns his hand, like pouring something or something, and then he like Hiroya runs to get Taehyun something for his hand, and so you can see Jobu reacting to that. So I think he's a little nervy. Bomi comes back and he has a cute little note from Huwei letting him know that he had to go, but that he misses him and he wants to see his face. Like, Huwei, how do you not know that you like this man? Help. In his defense, I think at this point in the show, he does know. All right, and then this episode ends with outing day. So they are going to go on outings. And basically, they are all responsible for choosing how the group gets broken up. And both Hiroya and Jobu are like, I want to go with Taehyun by myself, just the two of us. So Taehyun has to choose. And that's the cliffhanger this episode is left on. And I will leave you on. I hope you enjoyed. Like the video if you did. Comment down below. Thoughts, feelings. Who do we think is ending up together? Who do we want to end up together? Subscribe for more content like this. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.